We're going undercover. Technically, we've already gone undercover. I guess we don't really need the disguise anymore. Hello everyone, my name is Emma, welcome to my channel. If you haven't been before, I like to discuss MLMs because I hate them. For a very long time I have been a member of several anti-MLM groups that share the various hun activity they see, so that gives you a great breadth of scope of the kind of things that people are saying. I'm also a sneaky, slight undercover member of several MLM groups. I'm in unique buy and sell pages for presenters. I'm in It Works posting clubs. I'm in various groups dedicated to different things. Through my time infiltrating these groups, I have seen some hilarious things, some absolutely shocking things, some things that make me very angry, some things that make me very sad, and I thought I would share that with you because knowledge shared is knowledge halved. I'm basically just going to run through various posts from different MLMs that are shocking, entertaining, etc. I will warn you now, some things can be a little bit upsetting, prey a lot on mental health problems. There is going to be some discussion briefly of infant loss, and we're going to start with Unique using Black Lives Matters for sales. So if any of that upsets you, skim past, don't watch, whatever you need to feel comfortable. I totally understand. So let's kick off on a high. Let's start off with a big one. MLMs in general are known for taking advantage of any tragedy, any worldwide news, whatever makes them look good, sound good, increases sales. They do this all the time. Anytime there's any kind of great tragedy, you can bet there's at least one MLM that is taking advantage of it. And the most egregious I've seen of this in recent history is Unique piggybacking on the Black Lives Matter movement. And it's particularly noteworthy because, like, every post I've seen about Unique being involved in Black Lives Matter is, like, always posted by, featuring a picture of a white woman. I really think Unique made a mistake promoting supporting Black Lives Matter and sharing, for example, donation links, linking to information from groups that are doing a lot of good, talking about protests and the value of that. That would be great. What they were doing was, I think, donating a small percentage of sales for certain things, but then obviously making more money on top of that, and they started selling t-shirts that say beauty has no skin tone, doing these hilarious I'll show you a picture, doing these things. I don't know who thought this was a good idea, and nobody told these women that it was completely tasteless and gross, but so various usually white women have been putting the various different foundation tones on their face to be like all skin tones are beautiful, which is, firstly, of course beauty has no skin. People of all colours are beautiful. That's such a redundant... The problem isn't that, people were being killed, is what I'm trying to say. It's a question of police brutality and institutional racism. No one was saying, like, oh, if you wear a darker shade of foundation, you're not as pretty. That's not the issue, but that's the way that Unique has tried to go, because obviously that way they sell foundation. I think this was a huge mistake in terms of business choice, because, as many people have pointed out before this, but many more since this Black Lives Matter push, the range of skin tones in Unique foundation is absolutely atrocious. Like, I'll show you a range now, and you can judge for yourself. So this is their liquid foundation. For somebody like me, or maybe somebody with ever so slightly darker, I don't know if any of those would, I have trouble finding foundation pale enough for my skin, but for somebody like a standard sort of maybe white British woman, you could probably wear 4 or 5 of those because they're so similar, because the tones of like white skin are so incredibly similar, and you've got choices if you have cool undertones, if you have warm undertones, if you have neutral undertones. They do little quizzes to teach you about, which skin type you have so that you can get the underneath tone correct, but only in the light colours. And then when you get to darker skin tones, I mean, to even refer to them as darker skin tones, you have like 2 choices, really, maybe 3. And they're just, they're using Black Lives Matter to make sales on extra products like t-shirts, as well as just to push sales for the company in general. And yet they have just almost no foundation colours that a black woman could wear, or a black person who wears makeup, sorry. Internalized gender norms, get out of here. Okay, so using Black Lives Matter to push sales for this shitty MLM company, that's trash. We can all agree that's trash. But the fact that they did it while having such a limited limited, almost non-existent range for people of colour is almost laughable in how absurd it is. I've talked about essential oil MLMs in my doTERRA response video. As I described in that video, there are a lot of those people who, as well as just selling essential oils and trying to build a downline, they also kind of fall into this category of like the anti-vaxxer, big pharma bad crowd, where they advocate for using oils instead of going to the doctors, etc. So here's a great example of that. Had both girls, referring to her daughters, had both girls allergy tested yesterday. Doctor says avoid anything and everything with fragrance. He starts listing all the things to avoid. He concludes with essential oils and tells me to save my money and don't buy them. My response was, knowing in my mind I wasn't going to stop using oils on my girls, and I wasn't going to get in a debate with him either. I wasn't going to check his medical advice and have a conversation about it so that he could properly explain it to me with his professional medical training, because I didn't want to hear any arguments against me, because I want to carry on using essential oils that set off my daughter's allergies. How is the scent of something so pure going to have any negative effect on someone with allergies? It's not artificial. Now, everyone in the world knows that some people are allergic to flowers. Yeah, some people are allergic to pollen. I have hay fever. My eyes get all scritchy and I sneeze. You've probably, especially if you watch my other channel, you've definitely seen me sneeze in videos. People are allergic to natural things. Even if, yes, these are 100% natural and big pharma things are totally unnatural and pills and medication are bad and essential oils are good, that doesn't change the fact that people are allergic to plants. People are allergic to pollens. People are allergic to fragrance, like your doctor has just told you. It doesn't matter if it's natural or not. Those allergies exist. We condemn the action, not the people. I'm trying really hard not to call this woman stupid because she's putting her children's lives in danger and perpetuating publicly this message that ignoring your doctor's advice because of your, lack of understanding, your complete lack of medical knowledge. This one really, this is like the second one and I'm already so cross. I think what's most frustrating is that these people aren't uneducated because they're going to the doctor and being informed by a medical professional who knows what they're talking about, and they're specifically choosing to close themselves off and say, yeah, but I want to keep doing this, so I just don't believe you. This is going to be the video where I become mean. Similarly related post, this is quite a recent one, i.e. posted during the COVID-19 pandemic. Blown away once again. Brentley has had a stuffy nose since last weekend. Sid started not feeling good Tuesday and Joey woke up from a nap yesterday sick and feeling bad. Guess who has yet to get sick? Yup, Mama ain't had no signs of immune deficiency come up. Don't understand what immune deficiency has to do with getting sick. I think this person might actually think that having a good immune system means that you just don't get ill. Like, you cannot be infected by, say, a virus that you have no immunity to because you haven't had it before. So she's cheering and being really excited that my children have all been sick, but I haven't. This sticker is insane. It literally recharges your immune system while you sleep. I need help. I'm not going to get through this. I'm looking at my audio waveform and we're almost at 20 minutes of recording because I'm not going to survive doing this forever. I put one on Joey last night and he woke up feeling perfectly fine. This is something I say in MLM groups all the time. Correlation does not equal causation. If you use essential oils or stickers or whatever every day, and sometimes people get ill and sometimes people get better, that does not mean that your essential oils or your stickers or your whatever is what has cured them. People also just get over colds, and children, go to bed feeling ill and then wake up and they're feeling better. It doesn't mean it was the sticker that did it. Maybe it helped, but it's not right to promote that as a fact so that you can sell them. That is uncool. It literally recharges your immune system while you sleep. What the fuck does that mean? What? Oh my god. Here's something really stupid. So this is from the unique buy and sell group that I'm in, that's specifically for presenters. So people sell off extra products. Some people are looking for things that aren't in stock anymore. It's, whatever, it's fine. Technically, by the terms of agreement for Unique, you're not supposed to sell Unique products through anywhere other than the website that goes through unique. So people selling on Facebook Marketplace, in Facebook groups, people selling on Nextdoor, eBay, that's all technically against the terms of service, whatever. So anyway, people shill all kinds of things in this group. Some people sell old jewellery that they've gotten as gifts from the company or awards, and it is always tacky and disgusting. This one really made me laugh. Is anyone after the new presenter box? £12 includes postage. And I thought, £12? That's all right. And then I saw a couple of comments that made me think £12 for the new presenter box was an insanely low price. So I asked, what does it come with? Just box. That's not even a full sentence. Just box. So I asked the empty box for £12. What am I missing, LMAO? Because that's an empty cardboard box. That's with postage. If not interested, please don't comment. Man, the prices are so high that the distributors have like forgotten what normal prices for selling things are, and that nobody's going to buy a fucking empty, in this group people probably are going to buy an empty box. That's the most upsetting thing. So I'm in a group about posting. I'm in a posting club. And it's basically a place, I've mentioned this once or twice before, it's basically a place where people share advertisements they've made, scripts for talking to people, scripts for making posts and things, and they copy paste them from each other. It's something that makes it very alienating. It's something that makes it really frustrating when one of these people messages you because it's totally impersonal. But I will say, being devil's advocate, the fact that they don't really get, in almost all MLMs, they don't get a budget for or any marketing stuff provided, and they have to make it all themselves, even if that is totally outside the scope of their particular skill set, and then you end up with stuff that just looks crap. I understand why they would want to share things that look good and work for them, so in that respect it's kind of fair play. It's also hilarious. Here was one admin post: so many new distributors, let's all share some first post ideas here. And the comments are full of posts written by people that others can copy and paste and put on their timeline for when they first join the business. So here's an example by somebody. Hey family and friends, I have started a new adventure in my life, and I am so excited to share it all with you. This opportunity is going to help me and my family do A, B and C. Talk about you working around your schedule now, how it will help lower financial stress. You get to work with your babies, paying for classes or daycare, etc. This is the first post. Anyone who copies and pastes this has no evidence that it's paying for daycare, school fees, anything. They don't know how it fits around their schedule. They don't know how much of their life it's going to take up. They have no idea because they've not yet started. And they have absolutely no evidence. In fact, there is evidence to the contrary that it will relieve financial stress. All evidence suggests that they will make almost no money, potentially a loss, and that the time versus the money they make, they'll be earning way, way below minimum wage, if anything at all. So it's essentially a script to lie. It's essentially a big lie that they're suggesting you share. This idea of misleading posts and stuff being the minority is so false. It is really perpetuated in all of these groups, and this is why when people say not all MLMs are like that, those are just bad people, I have to disagree, because I am inside and I see it, and this is what is perpetuated by so many. Here's another mildly tragic one. This is another post in this same posting club. Here's somebody saying, I was told I could make a full-time living off this, crying face. And then there's a reply saying, and you can, if you work it. And then another person saying, with an $80 monthly spend, 85% of people are spending almost double what they're making in order to stay active, i.e. making a loss. If anything, please keep a spreadsheet with all your outgoings and incomings. Excellent advice. Always do this. And assess it regularly as to whether it's worth it. And then this hun says that's because they have to include all the people and join that don't work. If everyone was a Jade Hooper, it would be higher. I don't know who Jade Hooper is. But they would rather complain than work. Bullshit. I replied to this simply saying, I have a lot of faith in people and I just don't believe that 85% of ladies who try this just don't work. That's a damning indictment of what you think of humanity. People aren't like that. People try. People desperately try and people lose enormous amounts of money. Someone in a It Works group posted the newest income disclosure statement and the rules on sharing it. You cannot make any kind of financial claim. If you state anything about, this is the new opportunity that is making me money, please join it, you also have to include the income disclosure statement. So I saw this as an opportunity to engage in some discussion. What do we tell people who comment asking about the $48 average, as in the average yearly earnings in the income disclosure statement, about the $48 average being way below minimum wage and not taking outgoings into account? This is a business, not a salary paycheck, but how much work you put in will show in your paycheck as raises. I don't know what that means. I'm not trying to be a dick. I actually don't know what that sentence means. Unlike a job where you just show up, the suggestion that in every single other job, you just show up and you don't have to put in work in order to keep your job and get paid, fuck off. I think I've calmed down enough now to get worked up again talking about something very upsetting. This is Colour Street using the promotion of awareness for pregnancy and infant loss in order to sell products. And they do this, they've done nail sets for all kinds of awareness schemes. I guess posting about it promotes awareness, but awareness of what? They're not linking to places where you can get information, places where you can get support, places you can donate directly. Colour Street are just donating up to a certain amount, so I think it's $100,000, and then no more after that. All the rest of that is just profit. And it has I think using death and people's grief to promote products is fucking disgusting. It is such an exploitative thing to use probably some people's most horrendous grief that they have ever or will ever experience in their life, especially if it's new grief and they're still in the grieving process. To use that to sell fucking nail stickers is disgusting exploitation, in my opinion. I told you I was going to get cross again. I'm sorry. And so there have been a number of incidents that prove, first of all, how Colour Street and every MLM, as I am always harping on about, cannot police the number of consultants they have posting and DMing people in various sites across the world. That is a fundamental flaw, but is a side effect of the MLM business model that they cannot fix. They cannot get around it. It will always be a problem, however good the company is, however good the products are, however good the prices are, if the compensation is really, really good. This will always be a problem. You can't police salespeople who are completely under the radar. And so this is just another example of people doing disgusting exploitative things because they are so set in this one-track mindset of everything is an opportunity for a sale or to talk about the business. You have to use every tragedy. Everything that you see is an opportunity to network. That is how I've had emails from people who have been in MLMs, and that is exactly how you end up being and thinking. It must be exhausting. So I'm not going to share the specific post because the woman who received the message has asked for it not to be shared around without her permission, and I don't think there's any need to. One of the first instances of this that got notoriety was this Hun messaged a woman who is freshly grieving, and she didn't listen to the woman at all. She was clearly working off a script or something she had planned, because the woman explained that this isn't appropriate, please don't ever message me or anyone else who has had a miscarriage about this ever again, it's not right. And the fucking Colour Street Hun, I'm laughing because it's an anxious, stressed, angry laugh. I apologise. She ignored that and then just put like a picture of the post in response to this, please don't talk to me about it, it's not appropriate. And the opening message was, hey girl, didn't you say you had a miscarriage recently? Like, it's fucking, hey girl, didn't you say you got some new moisturiser the other day? Like, fucking, that's the level that it's at. It's, first of all, opening with such a peppy, hey girl, to talk about somebody's grief and one of the most traumatic and upsetting experiences of their life, I expect. Just, and then treating it as a throwaway thing. Like, didn't you say you used this nail varnish? Like, a fucking... That is what, and that doesn't necessarily mean this is an atrocious thing to do, but this is a part of the brainwashing that MLMs do. This is how, like I said before, about the mindset that you're trained to be in. This is indicative of that. So this person might not have been like that before, and we can only hope will come to her senses and leave the MLM and realise what she's done, and then hopefully won't be like that after. But when people are in deep, this is how they are trained to behave. So I popped onto the actual Colour Street post about this. So I highlighted my own feelings about how exploitative and disgusting this is, but I also had a little flick through the comments to see if there was anything particularly egregious, and I thought this was a little bit sort of amusing in how tone deaf it is. So this woman posted, this woman she's fine with these nail stickers and she wants to buy them, and she's saying thank you very much for talking about this. And then she's got a reply from someone, and I can tell you for a fact, based on the comments between them that followed this, that this woman is a total stranger who doesn't know her. Contact me when ready to order. Full stop. And that's it. No like, I'm sorry for your loss. I understand your pain. Thank you for sharing your story. Do you already have somebody to buy? It's just straight up, oh, you had a miscarriage and you're interested. Well, buy them from me. Talk to me when you're ready. So here's the other post that made me angry about this whole thing. As if, like, you need more at this point. This is a post from another woman who's very excited to share, and she posts as that it's in a copy-paste way. Those of us who are in the know can tell it's in a copy-paste, very following a script kind of way, but it seems on the face of it somebody who is genuine about supporting this cause. I'm so proud to be a part of a company that partners with charities each month for very special causes. This month is an especially important cause that often goes undiscussed. September is Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month. No, it's fucking not. It's October, or specifically Infant Loss Awareness Week is in October, and therefore the month is in October. I think Colour Street was selling this in September so as not to step on toes of other events that occur in October, and was sort of selling in advance, and this hun has taken that to mistakenly mean that September is Awareness Month. You might be saying, that's a very simple mistake to make, who cares? Emma, shut up. Why are you so angry about everything all the time? Well, I agree with you, then I should probably chill out a little bit. What this shows me is that this woman, who is so glad to promote awareness for pregnancy and infant loss, hasn't done 1 second of research into pregnancy and infant loss awareness. She hasn't looked at the cause at all. She hasn't looked up any information about it. She hasn't looked up what non-profits are supporting this cause. She hasn't done any research. She's just blindly shared the Colour Street stuff in the hopes that she will make sales, because if she had spent 1 minute on Google, trying to genuinely learn something, even the smallest thing, so that she could become aware enough just to promote these nail stickers for sales, if she had done that for 1 minute, she would have learned that Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month is October. And she didn't, because she doesn't genuinely care. These people don't genuinely care. If they did, they wouldn't just be selling nail stickers. They would be providing information on non-profits and organisations that can actually help and aren't making a profit off of these people's misery and grief. That is the end of the Colour Street bit. I promise we're done. We're done with that. I'm fine. You're fine. We're all fine. Everybody relax. Now for something lighthearted to cheer us all up. This one kind of made me laugh just because of the context that I extrapolated personally out of it. This is a girl just saying, hey, I absolutely love following you on Facebook. I really wish that I still lived in this area because I feel like we would be great friends. I know this is completely random, but I feel drawn to you and I believe God brought us together for a reason. Even if it is just social media. So, even though we barely know each other, I feel compelled to reach out to you about Plexus. I pray all the time for God to bring people into my life so that I can bless them with these products and this opportunity, and I'm wondering if that's why I feel so drawn to you. Fuck off! Even if you are a theist, even if you're a person who believes in God and you're a Christian, come on. So if we take this at face value and we assume that she genuinely believes what she's saying, she's not lying, she's telling this woman exactly what she believes. How self-absorbed is this woman that she thinks that God is directly helping her with her Plexus business and yet is demonstrably not helping with tragedies and, say, the death of children and so on. This is a problem with the concept of prayer in general, but the idea that God, when children are dying of starvation and disease, is like, I do not see it. But God, when this hun needs to expand her Plexus downline, is like, girl, I got you. I'm here. So fucking... Talking of insane, this is a graphic that has been made by Unique Hun. There's no sources for the facts that she asserts here. I'm just going to read out what she says. It's important we realise what this is and how we as women contribute to it. Unique funds sexual assault recovery. First of all, I'm going to have to stop you right there. Unique funds sexual assault recovery in the form of the Unique Foundation, which, as I discussed in my Unique video, which I suggest you go and watch, you don't have to watch the whole thing. I've broken it down into sections. If you go to that video, which I'll link at the end, and I'll link it in the description as well. If you go to that video and look in the description, there's a time code for my section about the Unique Foundation, and so it's deeply flawed. It doesn't support many women. It opens up this retreat basically to a very, very small group of women, and requires them to also pay for their travel and so on, and basically only takes people who are very far along in the recovery process. That is already a problematic start. I think the idea of Unique funding sexual assault recovery is a flawed statement that I don't personally agree with. I feel very strongly about this. Let's carry on. Most other cosmetic brands fund the abortion industry. This already sounds mad, and we'll talk about that in a second, but we're not done with the sentence yet. It gets worse, so hold on to your hard hats. Most other cosmetics brands fund the abortion industry, which aids... Citation needed? I personally don't know anything about this. I wasn't aware of this cycle. She refers to it as the abortion cycle. The next sentence is stop giving the bad guys your money. So the bad guys in this case are any cosmetics company other than Unique. So we've asserted first that most other cosmetic brands fund the abortion industry. Citation needed. I need you to prove that before anything. Well, first I need you to prove that Unique properly funds sexual assault recovery in a way that is useful to more than 10 women a year. Then I need you to prove that most cosmetic brands fund the abortion industry. I need you to prove that fact to me next, which you haven't demonstrated. You've included no sources. And then I need you to prove that funding the abortion industry aids. And I need you to prove that with facts and statistics, and I need you to prove that not anecdotally with, oh, well, I imagine that this could be how it happens and therefore it probably happens all the time, and not in fact that abortion is a necessary medical procedure. I don't think it's fair to say that most or all, as this seems to sort of be suggesting, I don't think that most or all abortions are forced upon women by... I think that's a ridiculous thing to assert. I think it completely ignores and disregards women who have abortions for a whole variety of reasons which they don't need to disclose. Nobody needs to explain why they have an abortion. If they want and need to have an abortion, we need to fund that process so that it can be done safely by medical professionals. Like with many things, if you stop funding, say, abortion clinics and you try to make things illegal and so on, you still have abortions, you just have dangerous abortions because it's not legal and people are doing it underground and secretly and people are putting their lives more at risk. They don't suddenly not need to have an abortion, they just have to flee hundreds of miles to get it and risk waiting longer and going through more red tape. It's absolutely absurd. Don't fund the recovery, which I guess in this case means the recovery with a child that maybe you didn't want. Maybe you didn't want and can't support this child and it was conceived through, but don't have an abortion, buy Unique makeup and then maybe get a place on the Unique retreat if you're especially lucky. But if it happened to you recently and you're experiencing any signs of trauma, you won't be allowed on it, so screw you, I guess. And then she's got this diagram, it's some hashtags, unique, what does that say? Uniquely made. There's a tag group on Facebook that I quite like that's called shit posts that look like science diagrams, and that's what I think of when I look at this. Just because you've put text around the page and not spread it out very well, and the arrows are all different fucking sizes, first of all, and it's hard to read because of the background. But basically it's a really shittily made diagram anyway, but just because you've made it into a diagram with arrows doesn't mean it's factual. There's still no sources. This is just a list of statements that somebody has made up with a diagram with some shitty arrows in it. Impregnates victim, forces victim to abort, clinic provides abortion in exchange for money. I'm sure that's how all clinics work. They're like, okay, well, it'll cost X amount. Could you just go and fetch your wallet, please? As if that's the done thing, and everybody knows that that's how it works with every single person who goes to an abortion clinic. Clinic does not report. Clinic sends victim, but how do they know? Again, this is assuming that every single person who goes to the clinic is a victim of clinic sends victim home with. It's just fully fabricated. It's playing on, it's emotional manipulation, which MLMs do so frequently, and I almost said so well. They do it so well in that we are, as human beings, we are empathetic and emotional creatures, especially if you have had any kind of sexual assault, maybe because your friend has said, Unique will help. Maybe you'll buy from them. But I don't think this is a particularly well-made or enticing argument. I think it's a load of bullshit, and I hope that most people would see that. It's offensive to critical thinking. Again, I've talked about this before. I hate fake news, conspiracy bullshit. I want sources. I want you to, if you're going to make outlandish statements, I want you to prove them to me. And there are like 4 or 5 statements in here that need to be independently proven for the entire thing to make sense and be worthwhile to read. But it's also just horribly offensive to every person who has had an abortion. It's dangerous to women who might want or need an abortion but have seen this and think that that's the wrong thing to do, and they're somehow feeding into this cycle. Okay, we're going to end on something very close to my heart. Side note, I'm being facetious. I'm being facetious because we're going to talk about coffee. And I love coffee, and I want to end on a slightly more lighthearted note than the honestly partly traumatic, partly infuriating content we have seen thus far. And obviously, as everyone who has watched any of my videos knows, I almost always have a coffee with me. I can barely talk because I'm at the end of a coffee, and therefore I've got the hyperness. So there are tons of these coffee MLMs. They're for weight loss or supplementing. I don't know, you have them instead of breakfast. I don't know, there's loads of MLMs that shill coffee and replacements for coffee as their products. It's actually a little bit cold now. We're at the cold dregs at the bottom of the cup. That's a shame. So this is somebody from an MLM sharing their this little document they've got that says how great their coffee is, and I just thought we would have a look. Weight loss, increases fat burning, decreases cravings. There's no sources here. There's no facts. There's no science. So I'm unable to verify any of these things, and therefore I must reject the claims until proof is provided. Real coffee. That's point number 2. I don't know why. When I buy a coffee, I'm not like, if I'm in fucking Costa or whatever, I don't go up and I'm like, yeah, can I have a latte, please? Can I just check? Is this real coffee? It's not that fake coffee that you get on the black market, is it? So I guess it's real coffee. Circulation, enhanced performance, increased endurance, vasodilation. I'm going to have to Google that. I don't know what that word means. Vasodilation. I might be about to learn something, you guys. This occurs when the smooth muscles in the arteries and major veins relax. Is it good? Is that what you want? Help me, internet. The caffeine in coffee widens blood vessels. And that's coming from some verified sources. So okay, much like the real coffee thing, that's just... vasodilation is just a smart sounding word that is widening the blood vessels that occurs just from caffeine. That's nothing to do with this specific coffee. That's just, in fact, a lot of these actually are just side effects of just drinking coffee. I'm not sure, I'm not going to look up everything because don't want to be here forever, but I'm not sure about the fat burning and things. Somebody else, if anybody has looked into this, do let me know. Vasodilation, bullshit, that's just any coffee, as is real coffee. Those are the 2 I'm now confident on. Mental clarity, improved memory, again, very much citation needed, not confident on that one. Alertness, that's just caffeine, once again that's caffeine, cross that off. We can actually probably cross out quite a lot of this, that is a reason to buy this product, and then the rest of it a big question mark, citation needed. Increased focus. The next one is the one that I am actually 100% confident on being bullshit. Anti-anxiety. Increased dopamine and serotonin, and calming effect. So, I suffered GAD. It's generalized anxiety disorder. That means I have anxiety that is caused by stuff, various things in the world. There's no specific root cause. I'm just a very anxious person, and I always have been. I'm a lot better, but I'm a lot better through therapy and medication, not coffee. And one of the things that they always ask you, you'll know this if you've ever spoken to a therapist or a doctor about anxiety, one of the things they always ask you is, how much caffeine do you have? Because having a lot of caffeine, or having too much caffeine, produces the same effect as a panic attack. And I have had panic attacks caused by anxiety, and I have had sort of a simulated panic attack caused by having too much caffeine, and I can verify that they are extremely similar. Coffee is not an anti-anxiety. It cannot be an anti-anxiety. If this has caffeine in it, which it must in order to prove several of the other things, then it's, and we know it is because it's 100% real coffee, then it is not anti-anxiety, it is anxiety-inducing. Now, obviously, I love my coffee, and in moderation, everything is fine. But the idea of coffee being anti-anxiety is completely ridiculous. It's absolutely the opposite. It does not have a calming effect. Maybe you could argue that it does in the placebo effect of just having a hot drink as part of your routine. But in terms of the actual chemical content being calming and anti-anxiety is completely fucking ridiculous. So that's just the whole, cross all of that out. And then we have metabolism restart, regulates blood sugar, boosts insulin sensitivity, lowers cholesterol. Don't know any of that. Citation needed on all that. So everything with a question mark can be basically crossed out because there's no sources here, and therefore I don't believe it. And everything that I already know to be false or simply a result of caffeine or anything in regular coffee can also get crossed out. And that leaves us with no reason to buy this product. So there you go. You can think about that if you ever see one of those adverts. All right, I think that's going to have to be enough for today because I am losing my mind. Thank you so much for watching this video. I am really sorry that so much of it is so hard. I guess I'm sorry on behalf of the people posting, and I'm sorry for bringing up anything that might be upsetting. I'll put a warning in the description as well as my verbal warning earlier, but yeah, some of this is quite genuinely troubling, and I think it makes me genuinely angry, and I think that's justifiable in how people in MLMs will manipulate people's emotions to the highest degree, in the most unacceptable, in the most exploitative way, that preys on your emotions and basically tells you that whether you have anxiety, whether you desire losing weight, sometimes it tells people that they should lose weight, whether you have suffered a terrible loss and are grieving, whether you have mental health issues, whether you have physical issues, whether you have been a victim of assault, that the answer to all of these things is to buy a product from them. That's the long and short of what all of these posts are. I think that's outrageous, and I think we should come together to highlight these things and tell everyone that they're not okay, because they're demonstrably fucking not. So thank you very much for watching. Sorry this was a hard one. We're in a different space, I apologise. I'm looking at things on my computer, so no lovely, cosy, haunted space. I'm thinking about putting my member of the Satanic Temple certificate up on the wall, but I don't know if that's too controversial. Let me know what you think about that. Do let me know your experiences in MLMs. If you've had anything similar that you want to share away. Do like this video. If you liked it, subscribe, please, if you would like to see more. And do share it if you thought it was interesting and maybe you want somebody on your Facebook wall to get a subtle hint about a thing or two, then maybe give it a share. Thank you again, you very lovely people, and I will see you very soon.